Hey, Derick.
Oh, hi, Vijetha.
So, we're good.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Fantastic, man. So, we have 2 minutes. So, he will just enable Facebook Live and other things, Akhil, and then we'll be ready to
Okay,
go.
sure, sure.
Yeah. So, of
Yeah,
course, opening questions will be same. The Flutura journey. How are things with you? We'll keep it
sure,
simple,
sure.
and then we'll roll with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
when,
I think
did
Jagat. Huh? Sorry.
when did you start this whole chain of
Yeah,
things?
we started about 4 months back, Derek. Yeah. So it's been good. It's been
Hmm, hmm,
it's just getting founders in, just talking about their journey, their story, what's happening with them,
hmm,
uh,
hmm, hmm.
what's going on. I mean, like, see, that it's been a little bit challenging for many people, Derek.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And like not many of these founders are not really getting a platform to talk. It's been basically investors coming, enablers coming, this one coming, that coming, and say this is what you must do.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
Yeah.
the thought process there is get entrepreneurs to talk about what they're doing, how they're facing up to the challenges,
Huh, huh, huh.
and share. And Derek, you see, your story is going to resound with the other entrepreneurs because they understand what you're going through.
Hmm, 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 hmm,
Right?
hmm, hmm.
I mean, it's as simple as that, right? I mean, everyone is going through a little bit of challenges, tough times. People are not paying them on time. The team is struggling. There's a lot of stress also, right?
No, no, true, true, true,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So we're sharing all this information with people. So it's 5:30 here, and I think we can kickstart, Akhil. If you just give us a thumbs up, Akhil, that we're covered on Facebook and YouTube, and then we'll kickstart. Okay, perfect, perfect. So, so copper water from a copper bottle, huh, Derek? Good. Huh? Your name is Derek Jose. Are you from Kerala by any chance?
I'm originally from Kerala. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes.
good, good, good. So fantastic, fantastic. So, good evening, everyone. This is Vijetha Shastry here. I'm the executive director of TIE Bangalore, part of the ecosystem, part of the community, working to just help entrepreneurs to grow. Welcome to episode 23 of the League of Extraordinary Startups. Today, we have a very special person, Derick Jose. Not only is he the founder of Flutura, but more importantly, or equally importantly, he's been doing so much of work with the community, with ecosystems, and he's someone that I've seen at all the demo days when there used to be big demo days, not like what's happening now. And so, Derek, welcome. It's
Thank you, Vijetha. Thank you for
privilege
having
and
me.
honor. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for taking the time out. It's
Thank you.
wonderful to have you with us. And let's kickstart, Derek, your journey. How's things going on at Flutura? Tell us a little bit more about the company and your journey.
Sure, sure. Good evening, everybody. So we actually started the company in 2012. Krishnan, who is the CEO, Srikanth, and myself, we started this journey then. Um, so if you look at what Flutura is doing today, it's essentially an industrial AI company impacting business outcomes in the energy sector and the engineering sector. These are the two sectors we work with. Um, but when we started the journey in 2012, the three of us, we didn't know energy sector at all, no experience in oil and gas. We had never built a product at all, first time entrepreneurs. And we have never sold to Houston, which was our primary market. So all these three dimensions were new for us. And we had to learn things the hard way. But thanks to a lot of support from a lot of good folks, we were blessed to have a lot of good advisors, a lot of people who believed in us. Today, actually, we are seen among the pioneers, at least in Houston area. Actually, along the way, we picked up logos like Shell. We picked up Henkel. So today, we are operational in more than 20 countries. The product has been deployed. Our estimate of the value we have unlocked for the customers is close to $300 million. And when we started the company, our original objective was to create a product which is number one in its category out of India. And that was a very burning ambition the three of us had in 2012. Recently, Gartner, in its ranking, of industrial IoT companies based on customer feedback. It's not an analyst view. They spoke to the customers. They were rated as #1 globally in the industrial IoT space. And probably after 8 years after we started, we have been able to achieve that outcome which we had aimed for. Very interesting journey. Our vision going forward essentially is a lot of things have changed in the last couple of months for us. Primary among that is one of the primary sectors we are working in is oil and gas. Oil and gas has had a very challenging time maintaining the price of oil itself. So almost like a tectonic shift in the industry structure itself. So we are responding to that in addition to the virus. So as we do that, we have also launched 2 new products during the last 4 to 5 months. One is what we call a Cerebral Engineers Workbench. The objective of Engineers Workbench is to democratize AI workflows for the electromechanical engineers. So without writing a single piece of code, you could build a predictive model for an equipment. And we have almost built a tool and launched it during the last 4 months when adversity hit us. We also launched a product on the industrial vision side of things, which will detect behavioral anomalies in equipments, in operations, from thermal imagery, radiological outputs, or surveillance cameras. So and one more big thing which we have done, which probably happened in the last 2 weeks, is we have brought on board Radha. Radha is an iconic salesperson known to have scaled large organizations, very specifically on sales. So Flutura at this point in time, while we have developed a lot of products, we wanted to shift gears and give it some escape velocity to the sales process itself. So Radha will be actively driving that. She's joining us on the board, and we're very thrilled to have her. So with that, I'll take a pause.
Fantastic, boss. Fantastic. So I think, without any doubt, Derick, what you're saying is it's like, you have technology, you have global customers, but sales is important. It is
Absolutely.
important. Focus on
Absolutely.
sales as well, right? Amazing.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think there is no structured, formal transmission of sales knowledge. Okay, it's not taught in the schools, and it's more or less an art. A lot of things is very person dependent, and we have learned a lot of things on the sales front, very specifically, and we are trying to codify that knowledge. A lot of blind spots. We screwed up a lot during the initial days.
Okay, now let us get into that a little bit deeper, right? So just a quick bullet points. What were the things that you kind of did not do right, Derick? Why do you say that you're learning a lot? What is it that you made mistakes with?
Sure. So I think on the initial couple of years, we were a little naive in our understanding of the market, in the sense that when we felt there was a very good product which impacted our outcome, we thought it's natural that the market will consume it. No, we failed to truly understand the mental models of our industrial buyers. Okay, we never saw the world through their eyes. We saw an interesting product. We thought it could change the world, and we failed to see through their eyes. And it was a very fundamental mistake we made. And because they've been shaped by a lot of experiences, and the belief systems are developed, and they want to see something tangible. A lot of things which we do in the AI side is very intangible for them, right? And they've been used to buying tangible stuff. So probably I would say the first thing we underestimated was the buyer's mental model and the belief systems. And it's very important to do that. The second thing is the whole area of sales blockers itself. It's a huge area. When you go to a customer, there are people who are your evangelists, and there are people who scuttle your sales deals, right? And how do you respond to sales blockers is still an art. And a lot of interesting ways of resolving that we have learned over the years. And I think there's no codified knowledge base which exists of resolving sales blockers. And the ability to resolve sales blockers could mean the difference between life and death for a startup, I would say.
Yeah, you're right, boss. You're right.
And,
Otherwise, you'll
and
be waiting for something to happen, and then nothing happens because there was a blocker.
absolutely. So it goes from 0 to 90 very fast. Okay,
Okay.
90 to 100, a lot of things happen. Okay, a lot of blind spot in the last mile, I would say. No, it could be the power of some invisible hand. It could be they're worried. Will the startup exist? In some cases, the great product went from 0 to 90 in the sales process. 90 to 100 says. So for us in this industrial space, we are getting into the core of operations. Once we get into the core of operations, it's very difficult to take us out. Okay. So for example, at Henkel, we are embedded into the quality manufacturing process, and we are constantly predicting the yield of each batch. It's very difficult for Henkel to remove it because for whatever reason, the fear is very valid. And how do you resolve that? A lot of learnings came into that. And and that's one area where we three of us, Krishnan, Srikanth, and myself, we strongly believe that if we democratize the knowledge of handling sales blockers within the ecosystem, okay, it could dramatically change outcomes. And the second mistake we made was probably being conservative. Typical South Indian boys, we were a little conservative on the marketing front. Okay. Product marketing, we are not invested much, and on second thoughts, I would have invested more into that because it's very important for the product to get discovered in the right marketplaces, in the right places, and for that involves experimenting with a lot of stuff. There is no one right answer, right? And it involves experimenting with a lot of sales techniques, sales people, sales processes, and all of that stuff. And probably we did not budget for those sales experiments. In hindsight, I would have done more of that, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, okay, again, the specific question, right? So when you say, okay, sales, marketing, the twain is meeting, there's a lot of blurring of lines, etc. But I want to understand, do you write blogs? Like, how do you, I mean, obviously, Derick, you guys have been there, done that, you're been successful, US expansion, big teams, etc., marquee customers. But what are the blogs you write, thought leadership? How do you put those kind of, I'm not false. I mean, I'm not talking about false stuff here. Quality, genuine. How do you prepare yourself for that? How do you take time out for that? Because it's important.
Yeah, most of what we have written in the blogs is based on very specific interactions we have had with our customers. And we felt it was very important to disseminate that information. Most of it would be around, I would say, business models and trends. It's not about technology that much because I think technology, more or less, most of us know. Our blind spots are in the areas of business modeling itself. There are a lot of new interesting business models available. And when we talk to customers, we learn about new possibilities and pathways available to monetize. And that is something which we have actively codified and shared. And also in terms of trends, for example, in industrial AI and oil and gas specifically, we have codified that and shared it. We thought it's good because in many cases, it's also a great conversation starter. There have been cases where a prospect has come to us and said that blog was very interesting. And it starts a conversation, very engaging conversation with them. Yeah.
So, what I've been doing now, Derick, if you see the I have just taken a couple of links. I put them, Derick. I've also shared the Flutura resources articles link over there. So,
Oh, okay. That's fast.
basically, that's very fast. And Derick, I think I should also talk to you that we should put together some roundtables, right? Get a
Absolutely.
couple of thought leaders, get some CIOs, and I know I will offer you from Thai Bangalore. We have a blog page. Would love you to
Okay.
contribute on that. And
Absolutely. Absolutely.
definitely, and
Uh,
also I
uh,
will tell you subject, right? One quick thing. I think this Bitphone, smooth, easy to onboard, easy to use platform.
sure.
And the integrations that they've done. This is, as you said, you know this, right? It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook.
Oh,
So
wow.
more and more people are grabbing the opportunity to interact and listen and talk. Of course, they come here, they see the chat window, and they get a lot of resources. If you go on Facebook, you don't get all this. Okay, so remember, there is something that you got to change out there. Okay, so Derick, again, specific questions, right? Who are your mentors and coaches? Who are your advisors? How do you identify them? How do they approach you? So it's very important for a growing revenue stage organization to think about these things very early. So how did you go about it, and what are you still doing about it?
Sure, sure. So mentors come in multiple dimensions. So from a sales point of view, the three of us, Krishnan, Srikanth, and myself, we actively look up to advice from Radha, who joined us. I mean, very, very astute lady. She knows exactly the mindset of the customer, how customers buy, and very, very granular, specific inputs on that. So that's a person we look up to, and we're glad that we are brought formally on board. So and it's, I think it's very important for every company to have sales mentors, at least startup guys, because that's one area that a lot of blind spots. From a domain point of view, there are multiple people. We had a lot of people in the oil and gas sector who have actively coached us in Houston itself. So for a domain, we actively relied on Houston. And then there's no one person, lots of people have shepherded us. They're well wishers in the customer arena itself. From a product point of view, we were initially nurtured by B2b Jagdish, who is also on our board. He mentored us on the product journey itself. So we had, so between BBJ, Radha, and a lot of domain people, we were able to kind of still evolving the cocktail which is required for a yeah.
So interesting, because I see that you have people like, of course, you did mention BB Jagdish, but I'm also seeing that you have people like, Shrikant is there, Krishnan is there, who are you three are there out there as well.
Yeah.
Plus, you have put in a lot of stuff around values, your board, the resources that you have, the webinars that you have done. So I think that's pretty cool, right? I mean, you create so much of content, and it's a lot of hard work, but right, Derick. So supposing, say, someone who's a single co-founder or just two people team, how do they do this? How do they build? And you have to wear different hats all the time. So how do you manage your time as a founder? Okay, and this is something that you really tell us, initial journeys, whatever it is. How do you prioritize? What is A plus priority right now? Then something that goes slightly less. How do you plan your day as a founder? What or not do you do?
So I'm not a personally a great planner myself. I don't so I would not be the right person to, but I do have a to-do list and a hierarchy of actions which are very meaningful to me and the company itself, which I actually put on a sticky in front of the mirror in every place. So I constantly look up to that. But to your thought about how do you spend time writing these things, I think it's a function of how intense your passion is. So we three strongly believed in certain points of views, and we felt it's very important to get it out of our system into the public domain. And the easiest thing is to blog. And most of the time it was on flights, on our journeys. We have a lot of time, continuous uninterrupted time on a flight. Nice time to collect your thoughts and blog it away. But that's something which we do. And I don't know the right answer to managing time, to be honest with you.
Okay. So this is the thing, right? If you were imagine that you're a time management and sales coach, etc., to a few founders. Okay, what would you tell them? Tell them not just what to do, but what not to do. Okay, give us 2, 3 bullet points on that, Derick.
So from a sales point of view, I would say one of our biggest learnings for the three of us have been not to equate excitement with willingness to pay.
Very important. Very important.
Yeah, and that is something it took us probably a couple of years for us to figure it out. So we'll go to a place, we'll show them demos, get pretty excited about it, and we'll talk about the excitement which happened in the workshop, but that need not necessarily translate into willingness to pay. Status quo is definitely an option. I would say a lot of time we are currently spending on is to score the prospect on multiple dimensions. Do we have a coach out there? I mean, that's something rather actively says. Do we have a coach within the company? No. It's not about your product. Somebody has to truly believe and evangelize you within the company. Is there a line of sight to a very specific budget item? Is it a vitamin or a painkiller? Is it coming only from the innovation budget, or is the operations team actively budgeted for it and looking to buy in the next 6 to
Yeah,
12 months?
most important that is, and people don't understand the difference sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, and very important stuff like this is where we are currently spending our time trying to discern, and it's not easy to get those triangulate those signals from the customer. This thing, right? But that's where we have spent. I would say really I would say spend a lot of time on the sales blind spots you have,
Hmm.
because sales blind spots mean life and death.
Hmm. Hmm. Understood.
And they bring revenue streams. And I would spend a lot. I mean, we three as founders are spending a lot of time on that with all this. I would say.
Awesome. So I think you're prioritizing, you're making sure that is there a budget line item that says that vitamin M money will be put in here, or is it just saying, oh wow, fantastic technology, oh man, superb, you guys are amazing, but no money, no signing off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one has to be very careful. That noise
Yeah.
factor has to be tuned off, ki boss. Okay, I waited for 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, but you still not signed anything. Or is
Yeah.
that, are you talking to the, I think also, Derek, if you're talking to the wrong person who's not the decision maker,
Yeah.
there is a hidden influencer that you don't know about, right? Those are the things that could go wrong, isn't it, Derek?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
And one of the important metrics there is, I mean, as startups, we develop products.
Hmm.
Um, One very important metric to test as we launch new products is the time to what I call WTP data, willingness to pay data.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, so normally we build a product and we wait for months. Said, hey, we're doing a lot of demos. I personally think the time to understand willingness to pay data should be less than 30 days.
Okay.
In 30 days, you should figure out whether people are ready to write a check for you or not. You should not wait for months. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
And that is something we are actively looking at. I mean, that's a metric we did not consciously.
Yeah. But now you are.
Now we are consciously looking at that,
Awesome. Awesome.
because we could get easily seduced by the features of the product.
Yeah. That's important.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm just going to slightly switch gears now. And how has the last 6 months been? There is, I mean, like as a founder, as a startup, as an entrepreneur, what are the challenges you faced? Positives, negatives, and how are you coping up with the situation right now?
Hmm. No, it was quite challenging, to be honest with you, actually. Krishnan and Srikanth and myself, we have had a lot of conversation, but two things converged for us specifically. One is, of course, this pandemic thing. The other thing which hit us badly was the price of oil went below zero,
Hmm.
right? Went negative. So I distinctly remember Krishnan was almost 2 orders, I think, was able to get signed orders from 2 customers. Everything was done. We had even got an email confirmation saying that paperwork is ready and all of that.
Hmm.
And price of oil happened, and within a week, the people who were about to give the orders got fired.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Yeah, it was such a tectonic change which happened in the industry there. I mean, people whom we knew very well, and that really shook us. And to be honest with you, for almost 2 months, we were reeling from the shock of a lot of things. Right, we didn't know how to respond. We just hunkered in, kind of stuff. But now we have started creating a pathway. I would say one of the new things we have learned is that before pandemic we would actively rely on our direct selling itself. Now what has happened is it's very difficult to nurture new relationships, so partnership is a path we have taken, and it's actively getting accelerated. ABB has been able to get us a lot of deals to the table. We've given proposals. Accenture's helped us a lot. Channel, shifting from Lone Ranger direct sell to channel sell is something which we've actively shifted. Second thing which we have done is launched new products itself, which we think will accelerate resonance in the marketplace. Third is also we have shifted industries. So earlier we are heavily concentrated on the oil and gas sector. Now we are looking at manufacturing, defense, pharma as adjacencies where these same offerings can be sold to. So there's definitely a vertical industry verticals. This thing, there are product changes which are done, and of course channel changes also. So all these three together, hopefully, will help us keep our nose above water and take us to the next level.
Fantastic, Jerry. See, I think one of the main things is, Derek, as long as you know what's going right, what's wrong, at least you can take decisions based on data, insights, and as a team,
Mm.
you come together and discuss. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for this, Derek. Okay, Derek, now again, slight switch of gears. Okay,
Mhm.
how have you faced up to the fact that, customers, maybe the payment terms have been slightly delayed? Team is also a little bit nervous about few things. So did this kind of pushback happen? And what did you do to handle these kind of situations? I mean, real time people issues, payment issues, funding issues. What should founders do? What did you guys face up to? How did you manage it? Well, badly, doesn't matter. Some insights around that.
Okay. So first of all, we were very conservative in our spends. We were reasonably capitalized, I would say, for more than 18 months. So that was okay for us. But you're right. So the fear of survival to some extent was not there with us. But the thing is, what do we do when customers are badly hit, right? Um, to be honest with you, I don't think we have completely understood all the dimensions of it. But what we are seeing is uh, there is an acceleration of the at least digital remote troubleshooting, for example, in the industrial sector. Earlier, there were customers who were on the fence, thinking, "Should we really do this? I can still send my maintenance guys to the field and troubleshoot."
Hmm.
Now many of them are actively looking at remote IoT based troubleshooting of equipments because of the
Hmm.
constraints they're facing. So there is spend happening from quarters which we never anticipated. No, there are change management issues, but in a healthy way, the pandemic is accelerated and forced them to think differently. And that's a new thing to us. Pricing wise, I would say we're still experimenting with. We don't have all the right answers on the pricing front. We are doing one of the pricing models we have, which is very convenient, is the industrial sector has never consumed anything on OPEX model. They always spend upfront CapEx. They buy a historian, they write a one-time check for a couple of $1 million and they get it. Our model is OPEX based. So, for example, an AI app would be per fracking perm per month per app, and it's lightweight on the pocket of the customers. So that's seeing traction. So Krishna has recently signed up a deal, a 3-year deal on pumps based on a per pump per app, and then that makes sense. They need not give up a lot of money upfront, and as they scale, we scale, and that model is also accelerating. I mean that is working for us. What is not working for us is the fact that earlier there used to be a lot of discretionary spending to experiment on new things like this, but today there's not a lot of discretionary spend. No, and they could wait. Earlier they used to wait for 1 or 2 years to see ROI. They want now to see here and now, kind of a thing. So the compressing of time from an ROI perspective is something which is something we need to respond to.
Interesting, very interesting. And and also, Derek, okay, you see the window. You said, okay, you were not scared about what would happen for the immediate future. You had a plan. You had someone like Lakshmi who's pushing you guys very, very hard to, be very careful about sales, right? So fantastic, Derek. I think these are beautiful insights. Of course, in hindsight, you might have done things better, maybe we don't know, but let's not go into that. Okay, so we're almost 30 minutes into the conversation, Derek. So slightly switching tracks. Okay, how do you keep yourself mentally focused and positive? What are the productivity tools that you use as a founder or as a team? Maybe you would like to share about that.
Sure. Um, Productivity tools, I think technology tools, most of them know. So I'll probably focus more on the sales related tools. Of course, we use Pipedrive to manage a funnel itself.
Okay, sorry, which one? What do you use? Pipe drive.
Pipedrive, yeah.
Okay.
A very nice visual tool, gives us a flavor of how prospects are moving across various stages of sales funnel.
Okay.
Um, from a presentation point of view, we stumbled upon this utility called Haiku Deck, Haikudec, Haiku Deck.
Okay.
It's almost like a Zen form of presentation, very minimalistic, high impact, which we found very useful. So we use Haiku Deck a lot from generating very sharp pictures for our customers. And of course, for our digital marketing, Animesh, our sales guy, uses a lot of Canva, I think. CANVA, I think.
Yeah. Canva is a popular tool.
CANVA, and he uses some very good video tools. I don't know the names, but yeah, these are some of the tools which we actively use to make sure that we get discovered. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I think this makes a difference, doesn't it? I mean, these are so important. Yeah,
Yeah.
the haiku teams, which is what collaboration can be. Okay, fantastic. Really nice, really nice. Okay, Derek. Then again, coming to a couple of questions, right? A harmony of life, harmony of work, work, life, family, health, making money. What gives? What's up on that front?
It's a pretty Zen question.
And
Uh,
you started it with the haiku and all that stuff. Just joking, just joking.
mm, no, personally, uh, I do read a lot of spiritual books, which energizes me, uh, especially Indian philosophy. So I do manage to spend at least half an hour every day reading something.
Okay, okay.
Santana Dharma and stuff like that, Sadhguru, and I get really charged.
Nice, nice, nice.
That keeps me going a lot. I don't know the right answers to
Don't worry.
family and this thing because I not managed the time effectively. I would say I would be the wrong person.
So we have to ask your
Work.
family. We have to ask your family then what is this man up to, right? In life. Okay, great,
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
fantastic. Hey, but thanks, Derek. You're being very candid and very sweet about this, and a lot of good feedback we're getting. So, like, let's imagine it. Let's take Vidphone for an example. Okay, beautiful platform, just few guys working on it. Jagat, good guy, you know him also. But what
Mhm.
what is it that they need to do to take on the global giants? Okay, what is it that they need to do to make other founders in India in small towns? Okay, and how do you appeal emotionally also, right? One is okay, brilliant tool, brilliant design, all that is fine. But a lot of talk is going around, use local tools, go local, be vocal about using local tools. So how does an Indian founder really resonate and make people want to work with them, talk to them, enable them, etc., right? What are the things that you feel?
No, two or three things. The first thing I think is this is something which I personally learned during my sales pitches. I mean, speed talk, at Siemens as well as Microsoft. So Microsoft, I mean, Siemens, I remember on pitch day, they gave us, first day, there was only one slide you could present, only one slide. There were 50 founders back to back in Palo Alto, and only
Oh, okay.
seconds per person.
Huh.
So I said, I have never done this. And they invested in a person who compressed my 30 slides into one slide.
Wow.
And those who survive that 7 seconds next day get about 10 minutes to do a demo. Okay.
Ah,
But what I learned in that process was there was an active ecosystem of people in the Bay Area who specialize in helping startups tell the story, the best version of the story.
hmm.
So storytelling process and create and articulating the best version of themselves is a process which I think many Indian founders need help, and not all of them. I would say vast majority of them don't tell the best version of their stories,
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
and that's something which we actively need to do.
hmm.
Uh, Second thing I would say is uh, our knowledge of business models, right?
Okay.
Uh, may not be as wide as it is available in the West. I think we have a constrained view of our business models. Sometimes we even price it cost forward. You
Hmm,
know,
hmm.
we don't do value backward pricing and stuff like. So
Okay.
storytelling. Second is business models,
All right.
and a third thing is influencing analysis. So if
Mm-hmm.
you look at it, I think if, for example, we are able to influence a few analysts in the Bay Area, or a few key influencers, right? For example, CB Insights. Okay, if we make sure that Anand Senwal from CB Insights really knows a unique thing about the ecosystem, the cohort, or the startup thing, I think when he publishes it, the world knows about it. The investor community knows about it. So really trying to map out all the key influencers in all the hotspots, right? And making sure that we get in front of them is something which he probably can do a better job of, in my point of view.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So because I think there are a lot of good startups. For example, if you take the industrial cohort itself, not many people know about Tombow Imaging itself. It's supplies stuff to Israeli defense and US Special Forces, Jordanian forces, and stuff like that. Nobody knows, and that company is in Koramangala. Not many people know about Atti Motors, who's in Malleshwaram making electrical autonomous vehicles. And a lot of such interesting companies. Which even India does know. So discoverability, storytelling, and making sure you hit the analysis is very, 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 very important in my point of view. And of course, making sure that you are able to extract the right value to the right business models.
Okay, that's very interesting. So I think as a community person, I should also pull up my socks then, right, Derick? Because I
No,
got
we're happy to. We don't know everything, but I think happy to help in any way.
yeah, we'll do that. We'll create
Yeah,
this. We'll create
absolutely.
this.
Something which will make a big difference. I think
Okay.
if you pull the lever on these three things, it can catapult our startups to a different level.
No, I agree. So I just tell you about sales, Derick. So we have been doing something called the B2b Sales Academy. Thai Bangalore and Thai Delhi came together. So
Okay.
yeah, so we got in the best people, right? So we got in Rajan Anand from Sequoia, and then we got in people like Clever Tap person, Rate Gain person, Hotel Logics. We got in India Mart. The sales leaders, Google guys, the people who do sales on the field. We got the Upeka guys to do a tear down kind of thing, right? We got some startups and grilled them. We did a roast kind of.
I like that.
Yeah, and very not brutal. Like, show me your email templates, look at
Wow.
your website. Do you have a blog? Do you have a newsletter? Do you have testimonials? Do you have videos? Right? And you have to invest in it. Yeah? You can't say
Break that down. Yeah.
you can't say I'm a single co-founder. I don't have time. I mean, that's your problem. It's not mine.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you have to figure things out to create content and rich resources for yourself to talk to the world, right? Because
Hmm.
otherwise, who's going to care? You're going to get drowned with all the noise that is going around and hundreds of other companies fighting for you. Beautiful, Derek. I think I've got some ideas from you of putting on some more effort as an enabler, to bring people together. And I think Jagat's also listening, so we got to do more of this stuff. We have to do more of this.
And a very simple thing I just wanted to add, that today's attention starved world, manage the first maybe 7 seconds. As you, what the three sentences? I mean, not many people give importance to that, but that's what I learned from the Microsoft pitch event, and a lot of importance to the first 7 seconds, and it matters a lot. Either you make it or you break it.
Okay. First 7 seconds, huh? Wow, Derek,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I mean, really, how do you make sure that you pack a punch in the first 7 seconds?
wow. Impressive, no? Impressive. In fact, they say, I was also, because I also read a lot of the statistics from HubSpot and Freshworks and Salesforce and MailChimp, whatever. They say
Yeah,
11 seconds is how much a person takes to just kind of go through the mail. They look at the dates, they look at times, they look at topics, they
absolutely.
look at who's this person, what's the speaker, what's in it for me. And
Hmm,
11
hmm,
seconds, if not lesser, they've kind of made a decision whether they're going to bother to do something about that, no, whether the call is going to be taken to reply, or read it again or more thoroughly, whatever. And
yeah,
you're saying that in 7 seconds on a pitch or in a sales conversation, 7 seconds, it's,
absolutely.
it's a
Yeah.
tough attention starved world. Yeah, you're right. It's a crazy tough world out there. So one
Yeah.
of the things, like, I see, Derek, that you have, you're just doing a diagnostics. You have a lot of beautiful blogs, everything. But now remote selling, videos, etc., are going to become a very important tool. So is there some thought process around that? Like, what do you think you should be doing differently in your, approach or whatever it is? Anything around that? Something for the founders that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, at least getting your, I think having a critical library of 60-second or 2-minute videos. I think
Mhm.
a visual medium is more appealing these days. There are many people do not read blogs also.
Okay.
Uh, and that is something which we have started doing recently. And it's a simple tool, right? When you send a mail to prospect, you can send a small clipping,
Hmm.
and something in that catches their eye. It actually starts a conversation.
Hmm. Hmm.
The other thing I think is, of late I've discovered a couple of very undiscovered blogs, very niche in nature, and I'll
Okay.
share a couple of them with you. One is something called Lenny's newsletter. A lot of good stuff on product management. A lot of product management insight.
Hmm.
Uh, then learned a lot from a gentleman called Eric Torenberg, Erik Torenberg.
Sorry, ERIK then?
Torenberg, Torenberg. Fantastic
EO.
blogs and stuff.
Orenberg. Okay.
Torenberg, yeah.
Okay.
Then there's of course Peter Diamandis, a lot on tech. I,
Yeah.
cataloging, and these are not mainstream knowledge repositories or branded things, right? But these are individuals expressing very sharp knowledge,
Okay.
very pointed knowledge. I think I'll share a lot more with them. There is John Malden for macroeconomics, and Signal, of course, Signal NFX. I look at it a lot. It's very good.
Okay.
So I think probably we should catalog these niche topics and niche authors who very actionable and succinct insights are there. I think we have benefited a lot as a company, and I think it would be good for all the founders to at least have access to these. You know,
Oh, amazing, man. Yeah, Eric Torenberg. I mean, I just typed Eric and T and Zoop, it came out. Amazing.
oh, you're already. Oh my God, this is.
Yeah, I'm crazy, right? I'm stupid. You should see the chat window, Derek. Lots of resources I've been sharing, which I hope is of
Yeah,
use.
I can see that, Stevie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can also type in, share some links, some of your blogs, whatever. It's
Oh,
up to you.
okay. I,
Yeah,
I can also do that, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Type it in, right? So that's if it's okay with you, please. I mean, you're being,
Oh, good.
as always, you're being super duper kind to people and sharing resources. You're the most
Yeah.
giving. So I want to talk about this, okay, Derek. See, we used to meet at all these demo days, NASCOM and Target accelerators and all that stuff, and I used to come and talk to you because you did a lot of work with the product conclaves and all that, right? I mean, you used to do a
Yeah,
lot of
we showed our products there.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I used to do that kind of stuff, and I mean, everyone used to say, "Man, hey, talk to Derek. He's the nicest guy. He's the most humble guy, right?" So, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I used to always come and make it a point to say hi to you, and I used to tell people that, boss, this guy, he's running his own company. He's an entrepreneur. He's a founder, but he's giving back to society. He's giving back to the community like there's no tomorrow, right? And this is something that I feel, Derek, and please, yeah, I mean, it's not a complaint, but it's a very simple input. No, we talk about innovation clusters, Derek, where you're talking about academia, you're talking about super successful founders, investors, revenue stage, growth stage, but not yet reached a pinnacle kind of thing, founders. And then you talk about enablers, you talk about various things. But India, we're not doing enough. I feel. I don't know why. And unfortunately, we have also been stuck in the last 6 7 months that things have changed. Brilliant stuff. NASCOM, TIE, that all the chapters are doing so much of work. NSR cell is there. Then you have so many communities. The TechStart Startup Weekend, Head Start Network Foundation, also where I'm a volunteer. But what do you think that we should be doing together, right? I mean, some quick bullet points come and really, I mean, and how can we help people like you, Derek? Because I mean, I'm not saying that you're a poster boy kind of thing at Flutura,
No.
but
Uh,
you know,
as
you
a
know,
community. Hmm,
yeah,
hmm, hmm,
we also need help, man. I mean, and we need you to be successful because you've hired so many people, you've got employees.
hmm, hmm.
What can we do? I mean, I'm willing to listen, learn, and do things. Okay, I mean, very honestly.
Uh, yeah, I think the three of us were reflecting on this some time back, and one of the things uh, I think we distilled ourselves was uh, our self-image of ourselves is a very important. Many people do not um, look at themselves as being so valuable in the global market, right? Because if you look at, let's say, an American company, right? They go out with their chest blazing, right? No, we go with a Kumbandrange attitude, as I call it, little bit, So I think a little bit of, no, I would say humility is not definitely a virtue in the global marketplace, no. So I think you should express your valuable and feel confident that you're inferior to none. I mean, definitely, because most of the time we do have a feeling that we are not fully there. But I think having that self confidence, especially in front of global customers,
Okay. Okay.
that is key. That is definitely key. And the second thing is, I think as a community, we are still undiscovered. So I always used to think, no, in Silicon Valley, there are a lot of Indians who have made it big. They are venture capitalists and a very influential set of people out there. But even Silicon Valley, I mean, in spite of having a good set of Indian influence over there, I don't think we are still there as a community from India, from a product perspective, right? Now, what can we do to shift that mindset, saying that we are right? I mean, there are enough fantastic companies out here, right? And I think we'll have to collectively think about how do we make ourselves get accepted and discovered in the marketplaces that matter. So for example, if you take industrial IoT, in Germany, a lot of activity happening, right? Germany is a cluster, Detroit is a cluster, Houston is a cluster, of course Bay Area. At least targeted clusters with targeted individual. If you have a watch list, if you're able to collectively exert our influence over them, of course we can see a lot of I mean, first is discoverability, then only they'll be willing to transact, give you a right to check for you, become a partner for you, invest in you.
Mm-hmm.
Transactional outcomes, you should absolutely focus on the discoverability outcomes. And as a cohort, we have not done that. Is my opinion. Happy to do help in any way. We three of very passionate about this.
Yes, definitely, boss. I will take up this offer, and I mean, what Jagat is also doing, this League of Extraordinary Startups. Then we're doing something called a Startup Sunday, where we're bringing founders, Derek. It's like an informal boardroom.
Okay.
Huh? So
Okay.
you couple of challenges that you're facing. Talk about it. Couple of
Hmm, hmm,
insights that you have, which could help the other founders or the community. Talk about it. Correct?
hmm,
And
hmm, hmm, hmm,
it's
hmm,
not about funding. It's not about getting customer connects or whatever, right?
hmm,
What
hmm,
is
hmm.
what do we do? How do we do all these things, right? I mean, that's what we can figure out. But that'll be awesome. Derek, I'm just getting Jagat online.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, Jagat.
Hello to Vijetha.
Oh, hi,
Namaskaram to
Jagat. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram Guru Sahib. Namaskaram Derick.
How are you?
Great to connect. Yeah, wonderful. Thanks so much, Derick, for taking out your precious time and joining us and sharing all your insights.
Anytime, man. Yes.
So, one of the things I think, Jagat, you have also been listening into what Derek has been talking about. We talked about community resources, and for example, Jagat, beautiful platform at Vidphone, single man with one CTO, that is Akhil, brilliant guy. But and you were also at that stage sometime, Derek, right? So and he's of course Jagat is expanding. He's got some seed funding and a lot of work that he's doing for the community as well.
Hmm,
So
hmm, hmm.
next some notes and let's see what we can do more, man. That's how it is.
Absolutely. Happy to help in any way. Yeah, there are such set of burning themes, at least we three as founders experienced, which you're passionate about. I'll put it out in this thing and we could start an active community. Yes.
And Jagat also was, he's been doing a lot of work on video sales, right? Helping people, smaller town people or whatever it is, founders to use video sales, use this video mail, about a lot of things.
Email, right?
Yeah.
I
A lot
like
of things that
I like that stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So he's been doing a lot of fantastic stuff. So, and you guys, of course, know each other as well. Okay. So, Jagat, what are your things? What's going on with you?
No, I think Derek's one of the best people. We have got 23 episodes of LXS. I must say, one of the very best, and I'm very happy. I think he's in an extremely exciting and what do you call it? I mean, this is the real gold space, right? The old black gold, what they call is oil. And in fact, we have had a couple of discussions around very interesting use cases. If you recollect, Derek, codification of tribal knowledge, I think you called it.
Absolutely.
And I think how can we kind of put that together so that in the future there's a lot more efficient troubleshooting and remote support.
Yes.
Right? So VCRM is something, VCRM and Vmail, as we've made the announcement already. It's still in the works, but I think it's going to be very exciting. Very much like what you said, where you have a video kind of, I call it a video sales letter, where just recording the video and having that asynchronous yet video kind of feeling, right, as opposed to a video conference. But would love to know from you. I mean, obviously I'm running Vidphone, and where do you think, video, for example, could come in? Not specifically just about sales or something, but just as an industry perspective, remote customer. Like even yesterday I did a session where it's all about this new person who's come called the remote customer. Right? And that's what everyone's aligned towards. And in your industry, Eric, would love to learn that.
Yeah, see, our industry is one of the very old-fashioned industry. Industrial people are very old-fashioned. They're not that. They like to meet in person, have a beer, and that's how So Krishna and Srikanth initially used to do a lot of lunch and learn sessions, to physically make contact with the customer. A lot of steak was on the table, and these guys were Brahmin boys eating salads. But very, very, it's very high-touch tribe, I would say. And one of the challenges, we recently hired an inside salesperson, Nadeem. And one of the discussions we were having is Nadeem is trying to reach out to them through email, a text, and trying to make it as human as possible. There's so much you can do to make a text human, right? And that's where I think the Vmail concept really jumped out at me. And I told Nadeem, it's something you should like. The experience has to be humanized, and it's very important. I think people are dying to get human interactions at this point in time. So these kind of medium where you actually see a human being and do something, and it becomes live. I think it can become a game changer in the sales process, especially that Vmail thing. Really liked it, and especially in this cohort, right, where they like everything high touch. Now, if you can't meet them in person, this is the next best action you can do to them, right? Come out as a human on the digital platform. So I really think that's definitely an experience we would be willing to try, Jagat, and we'll talk to Nadeem about it. Our industries, I think this is a sales tool which we can use. I think we would use it.
Both in sales and another thing, but I said, the remote support as well, right? But you may have a particular junior engineer, junior field engineer there, and he has a site, a supervisor elsewhere. These two could be.
Yeah. Because you're minimizing the need to travel. Because these guys, for example, here they spend a lot of money shipping a rotary equipment specialist on a helicopter to an offshore oil rig and stuff like that. And logistics cost itself is huge. And if you can take out a big percentage of that operational cost through at least, so to start off with, even low value defects can be troubleshooted. No, high value defects, of course, you need a person, someone. Low value, high frequency defects, I can easily see this as becoming a workflow which can help them. Yeah, we should expect. Yes, we should.
Definitely. Vmail is something that we are very passionate about. As I said, see what's happened with email. Email, is the first application of the internet, and what email was, it replaced letters effectively, completely. But still, when we look at voice, we still use this telephony system. We're not yet onto IP. Now, of course, with conferencing, but video, I feel, is like the whole thing that's open, like completely, right? It's never been explored. And we like to kind of jump nosedive into a lot of things.
No, actually, what, after you told me about that, I socialized it with a friend of mine, Shane. I told him, look, this friend of mine has got this. He's trying to sell during these times. His salesman cannot go to the customer. So I told him about this. He said, can you give me the name of the company? Can you that message market fit is there. Of course. Definitely there.
I think as a little older, I get smarter with positioning and the words, I guess.
Yeah. So immediate resonance is there, Jagat.
We'd love to connect. We'll, of course, connect, Derick, whenever you're free. I know you're super busy. Sure. I'll drop you a text anytime, whenever you're free. Gentlemen. Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm learning so much as well. So many resources. I'm reading away. So I'll let you to continue.
Yeah. It's been amazing. Yeah, totally from the heart. Okay, so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on board and giving response to all this.
Derick, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah, that was an interesting conversation, right? Technology and how we can grow. So, Derick, look, I promised you 1 hour, so I will not take up more of your time. Okay, we are almost 5 minutes away from that. So, what's close to your heart, Derick? What is the challenges that you want help from other people? What are the kind of customers you want to reach out? What's going on in that front?
Yeah, I mean, close to my heart, I think is I think not only as a company but as a cohort is discoverability. As I said again, that's the number one thing. We should get discovered globally. Whatever hacks are available to make sure that these best companies are globally known, right? So otherwise, they say like like a beautiful flower blossoming in the forest. Nobody knows the fragrance of it. Right? So this fragrance should spread globally. So, and that's something which I personally am seeing. Second thing is, of course, and I think there are a lot of great technology companies that they do not take off because I think sales as a process or handling sales blockers and product marketing is not institutionally taught, and also something. And if you have to create a lot more companies, I think these two, storytelling, sales process, block handling, product marketing, all of these things have to be really become mainstream. I think it should become as important, or if not more important, than technology itself. I think we take technology, and that's something as a company, and three of us, Christian, Srikanth, and myself, will be happy to help.
Fantastic, boss. I mean, that's so great. I mean, you're amazing, man, Derick. I mean, as always, so warm, so giving, and we should also give you back some love. Okay, so you guys are tweaking or something like that, please tag me. I promise to fire it out to the larger world. Okay, that's my promise.
Definitely.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. Wonderful. So, any, I mean, we're almost done. I don't want to take up more of your time. I promised you that we will do this in 1 hour. So, any parting words from you, Derick? How are things, and how else what do you see for the next couple of years in the Indian ecosystem, the global system? Like, how can we make bridges come together, like culturally, people, innovation clusters, academia? What else can we do? From Thai, we can do something because we have so many chapters in all over the country and world. We have so many wonderful people, and I want to bring in, lot more networks that can help the network effect. So you can guide me. You can give me some thoughts on that. I'm happy to do more.
No, I mean, what you're doing is phenomenal. It's basically, no, I think for a community to grow, you should increase the frequency of collisions, right?
Okay.
And what you're essentially doing is just making people collide with each other. The more people collide with each other, knowledge happens, transactions happen. And if I mean, as a team, if we can increase the frequency of the collisions, at least here and across the globe, also, I think not just here, but at least in other markets also, which matter.
Okay.
Silicon Valley, Houston, whichever markets, global markets, clusters.
Yeah, it has to be.
I
Yeah,
think a lot of cross pollination has to be done. We'll jointly work on that together.
and I look forward to learn, and it is very critical to do this. And thank you so much, Derek. It's been an absolute delight and pleasure from the
Thank
heart. Those
thank
resources that you have shared are exceptional. So much appreciated. I did some research work. I mean, thanks. You have been sharing a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And take care of yourself.
Thank you, Vijetha.
You
Take
know,
care. Thanks.
you are an important person for the ecosystem as well.
Oh,
So,
happy we'll happy to contact.
cheers.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Vijetha. Take care.
God bless. Bye bye. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Hari and Chandni, Lagan, Akhil for joining in, and all the very best. Bye bye.